Hey everybody, Buck coming to you, and one of the topics that we've really been asked to go into is how to invite people. See, the one thing it's really important to recognize is people don't make a decision off of Doobly because they don't really understand it. They're making a decision off of how they're exposed to Doobly. Think about it. When you were brand new, you didn't understand Doobly the product, you didn't understand Doobly the business, you certainly didn't understand Doobly the partner program. All you knew was what you heard about Doobly, and you've all heard before, you only get one chance to make a first impression. And this is why inviting is so important. Number one, you have to be normal. When I say be normal, you can't go to your friends wearing a Doobly pen with a Doobly tie, glow in the dark, lights going up and down, doing cartwheels in front with Doobly little windmills on your car, wondering why no one wants to do it. Okay, you got to be normal. What I mean by normal is however you normally are around people is what you want to do. So if you normally, like me, I always wear my Chicago 34 Walter Payton jersey, right? I wear it all the time. So if I was going to come over to a football party or go over to play some volleyball or whatever, I'd be dressed normal. I wouldn't be wearing a suit and a tie with cufflink shirt on, right? So the number one thing in inviting, you got to be normal. Number two is you want to make them curious. One of the things you want to remember is less equals more. The more you tell them about Doobly, the less likely they are to come see it. Have you ever gone to a movie with someone and the whole time you're watching the movie, all they're doing is telling you what's going to happen next? But no, this is the best part, because he doesn't really die, and all you want to do is smack him. Okay, you don't want to give them too much information. All you want to do is make them curious. The other thing you want to write down is that you want to be excited. People like to be around people who are excited. Okay, if you were going to make a list of the 5 people you like to be around the most, how many of them would be negative, complaining people? Exactly. You like to be around people who are excited. So you want to be enthusiastic. One of the things I've always taught is the height of your enthusiasm is far more important than the depth of your knowledge. You know, one of the things that always makes me laugh is people are actually better at Doobly in the beginning when they don't know anything. Okay, what happens in the beginning is you just tell them to look. When you invite someone, all you want to do is you want to pick them up, put them in your car, don't tell them anything, and bring them to an open house. And they're like, okay, and they do it. And then they go team leader, they go team coordinator, maybe they get the sales director, and all of a sudden they stop doing what got them there in the beginning when less was more, and now they start because now they're smart. And now they start trying to dump all this information on their new people. If any of you have children, do you take your kindergartner, first grader, second grader, do you take them to trigonometry in college? You probably don't do that, right? Because it wouldn't really make that much sense to take like a 5, 6, 7-year-old kid to a college university where they're teaching trigonometry. Okay, in other words, less equals more. All you want to do when you're inviting people is be normal, be excited, make them curious. I love it when people go, well, what's it about? And I'll be like, well, what it's about is you meeting some very important and one of the fastest growing e-commerce businesses in the world. Well, I need more information. I know. That's why I'm taking you to this open house. When you're inviting someone to an event, it's very important to use the word open house versus meeting. The word meeting is the single biggest killer of a new prospect in Doobly. In other words, how many of you watching this have been invited to go to a meeting? The word meeting is a trigger word. The instant you use the word meeting, it's going to create a negative response. They're going to say to you, is it Amway? They're going to say, is it a pyramid? They're going to say, is it multi-level? They're going to say, is it network marketing? And now you are justifying something they haven't even seen yet. Whereas if you would spend the time to get trained, just like this little segment, and guys, I can't do a 2.5 training in this little segment of how to invite people. What I can tell you is that this information will help you, and more importantly, help your sales team invite properly. Okay, so again, if we're being normal, if we're excited, if we're making them curious, and the last ingredient is you got to use urgency. One of the things that makes me laugh when I meet people all over North America and other parts of the world is when they want to hang out at Team Leader for like 8 years. Now, have you met these people? Where they're like, well, yeah, you know, I want to try out the VIP membership for 45 years, and then what I may do from then is go to Team Member. Have you met any of those guys? I love it. You know, the ones that are like, well, I'm going to go do due diligence, because they're going to do more due diligence than Blas Morris or Microsoft did, right? So what I mean is when you're using urgency, urgency is what gets people to move. In other words, when there's an event, whether it's an open house, which we do lots of Tuesdays and Thursdays all over the world, whether it's a special event. You know, Michael and I, we do road tours together a lot. And when you have Michael Hansen, or you have Bloss Morals, or you have some of the leadership that are part of the MVP team, you want to learn how to edify. Now, edifying is a big key component to inviting. And what I mean by that is people will drive thousands of miles to meet someone important. They won't go 10 minutes to see an opportunity. So one of the things that we want to do is get really good at building up your leadership. In other words, if I was going to get someone to come see Michael Hansen, for instance, right now we're doing an event in Virginia Beach. And let me tell you what some people are doing to invite people to come see Michael Hansen. Hey, how's it going? I know you probably got plans, and well, you know, it is only 2 weeks away, and well, I don't want to inconvenience you, but you know, if you don't have anything going on, how many of you have plans? You know, everyone has plans, right? Are those plans going to really change your family tree? Are those plans going to make you a 6-figure or 7-figure income? And if they're not, you might want to change them to meet some of the caliber of people that you have a chance to meet, like with a Michael Hansen. Well, anyway, if you're not busy, let me know if you want to go, okay? What would you say to that invite? To whereas if I was inviting someone to come see Michael Hansen, this is what I would do. I'd say, listen, I don't know what you have going at the end of the month. But what I know is it's probably not going to change your life the way meeting a gentleman who's flying in all the way from Dubai. His name is Michael Hansen. He's the CEO and founder of one of the world's fastest growing companies on the planet. They're being compared right now to Google, Facebook, Microsoft, and you know what? He is flying in all the way from Dubai. It's a 24-hour flight. We've got Bloss Morals, the 5th biggest guy at Microsoft, coming in, and we have Vicky, who runs a travel division, who actually helped found an airline called Emirates. Now, I don't know how many times in your lifetime you've had a chance to be around 3 powerful people like this, all in the same room. But I'm telling you right now, you need to change what you're doing, and you need to be in Virginia Beach. Okay, number one, I am edifying. I am building up them meeting these 3 individuals. And trust me, those 3 individuals are very, very powerful people. And more importantly, they're looking for talent, which could be you and me. Number 2, I'm using urgency. I'm letting them know, look, they're only going to be here for 2.5 days. Okay, you've got to get in front of them. Okay, I'm making them curious. I'm not telling them all the components to do, but I just want them in the room, right? So what I want you to notice is how I'm doing all these things at the same time, and of course, I'm being excited, right? In other words, what you want to do is you want to be normal, but at the same time, you have to have something that's going to make them move to take action to get to the event. I've always said, my job is to get people in the room. My job is to get people in front of the information, and then once they're there, my job is done. It is much easier to do it that way than it is to try to go out and be the expert. It's another thing I love watching with new people, is they're trying to be the expert with their friends and family. They're trying to be the expert with their business contacts. It doesn't work that way. You never want to be the guy. You want to be the guy or gal that knows the guy or the gal. That's my job. All I do is I connect people. If I meet a great lady, if I meet a great guy, I'm not talking about me. Who wants to be around someone who's bragging? I'm going, look it, you're not going to believe this, but I know someone that could help you. Now, a couple things in inviting. Number 1 is your verbiage. Okay, one of the things that you want to be able to do in your verbiage is get down certain key words. E-commerce company, billions in transactions last year, 11 years old, publicly traded. We work with people that worked at Groupon, Google, Microsoft. We've got 3 home offices around the world. These are key words that give you instant credibility. Okay, listen to the difference in those words versus, hey, I'm in a home-based business, and you know what, we're doing a 7:30 meeting. Do you hear the difference in the words that I'm using? Okay, so again, when you're inviting someone to go to a website, again, I'm assuming most of you watching this right now are watching this on VIP2MVP.com. I use that website for everything. Okay, I've got top income earners from $100,000 to $200,000 a month that have gone to that website that are engaging indubitably. But you know how I got them to go to the website? Is I built that website up. If I'm inviting them to the website, I'm going to build that website up. I'm going to set the table to where when they go to it, that website can do more damage in explaining to them than I could do in 2 hours on the phone. So I'm going to build that website up. If I'm inviting them to come to an open house like what we did here tonight, again, I'm going to build up the speaker. Whoever the speaker is, I'm going to build that speaker up so my guest wants to go meet that person who's important. People will go thousands of miles to meet people important. So we have to get good at building up the open houses and the speakers. If I'm going to invite someone to be on a webinar, if I'm going to invite someone to go meet someone maybe in a one-on-one in a Starbucks or maybe at a hotel or an office like the one we're in right now, okay, you have to learn how to build up other people. Okay, you have to. Right? We're in the promotions business. So when you're really looking at inviting people, think of yourself as a promoter. Right? In other words, if you were going to promote and you were promoting for the Super Bowl, or you were promoting for the ESPY Awards, if you're promoting for the Oscars, how would you get people to go to that event? Would you bore them with details and information about how wide the red carpet was and how tall the ceiling was and how many light bulbs were going to be in the room? Is that what you would tell them? Because a lot of people do that in Doobly, right? In other words, if you give people too much information, you are facting them to death. And you're going to see people do this. That's why I said earlier, people are better in Doobly in the beginning when they don't really know what it is. Because all they're doing is they're getting people to show up to events and they sign up. And then when they get really smart in Doobly, they understand how the portal works, they understand going to Doobly.com, Doobly Network, and then they start going into all this information with a new person, and a new person goes, wow, I'm not smart enough to do this. Okay, just remember the basic things that we've talked about in this inviting video. Number 1 is be normal. Number 2 is be excited. Number 3 is you have to make them curious. Less equals more. And the last part is, again, is urgency. Urgency is what is going to help make your business explode. If any of you watching this are wanting to go sales director, if any of you watching this are wanting to go vice president, senior vice presidents, all I can tell you is all you need to do is however many legs you've got. If you've got 3 legs, if you've got 5 legs wide, if you've got 10 legs wide. My goal right now is to have 20 vice presidents wide. When I met Michael Hansen in New York for the very first time, one of the things I figured out very quickly is that he really was a builder at heart. And when you look at our system, what I love about our system, and one of the things you're going to learn very quickly is that 20% of your team is going to do 80% of the work. And what Michael Hansen and myself are doing right now is that we are working with that 20%. My goal was to be in that 20% of Doobly to get his attention, and obviously going vice president in 1 year was able to do that. But the reality is now my goal is to help a lot of you that are watching this get to sales director, get to vice president, get to senior vice president, where we get to hang out in Grand Cayman, goof off, have a lot of fun together, and change a lot of lives by helping people get money back in the homes that need to get this money back. Because you know what? People are doing this anyway, right? In other words, all of us spend money, they're just not getting money back. And now what we can do is that we can actually do that. We can help people do that. And if you'll take to heart what I'm sharing with you with inviting people, because think about it, you invite them, whether it's the website, whether it's an open house, whether it's a one-on-one, whatever the exposure is. Maybe it's with the Plan B DVD, which will really help your business explode as well. And the reality is now all you have to do is plug people into that system, and that system will help you duplicate, which is what's going to create residual income for you. So I hope this helps. I look forward to seeing you in person. Please get to our live events. There's no way in these little videos that we've got in here we can really teach you what we teach you in a full weekend at one of our training programs. Thanks again for the time, and we'll see you at the top, everybody. Bye-bye.